Okay, nice. So what we'll basically do here is to train people who are just trying to get into IT newly, right? So one thing I realized is that learning any career or any trade or anything on Udemy, LinkedIn, and all of that is good, but the problem with that is that number one, the videos are way too long. That's actually discouraging in the first thing because the videos go probably 7 hours, 8 hours long. And also when you have a question, it is difficult for you to pause and ask the person the question because it's always recorded. There's no answer to your questions at that point in time. So that's why we put together industry experts here to be able to walk people through on any area of career that they want. Last year we were focused on more of area of Scrum Master, product owner in a scaled agile environment. But in 2024, we decided to expand into other areas. So currently, we've added a few courses into what we have right now. We have cybersecurity, which we're into right now. We have PMP, we have Power BI, and other courses. So today is dedicated to cybersecurity, and we have our consultant here, Mr. Gabriel, that will be walking us through GRC. Now, it's very important to note that the main reason for this webinar is for you guys to ask questions, for you guys to seek clarification about, what probably want to know more about cybersecurity space. You have questions about your resume, you have questions about jobs in that environment, things along those lines will be able to help you out. And ultimately, this is going to be a project-based education, which you can have on your resume, which you can be able to, use that to get a job. Right. So that's what I wanted to take away from here. Before I get Mr. Gabriel to get on board, does anybody have any question on what I just mentioned? Any questions, clarifications before we?
Not from my end. Not from my end.
None from your end. Okay, good. Mr. Gab, please take it away.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Welcome everyone to this webinar to get introduced to GRC, which is a key areas of cybersecurity. Cybersecurity has a lot of areas, like there are many specialization where you can specialize in cybersecurity. I started my cybersecurity journey in the security operation. I've worked virtually in all areas of cybersecurity. Presently, this is my present job. Most of the thing I do, like let's say 60%, if not 80% of what I do presently is around GRC, that is governance, risk management, and compliance. So that's what I do presently in my job. And then I will welcome as many questions or whatever you want to know. The beauty of GRC aspect of cybersecurity is that you don't need to have a robust IT background like some of us do, and you don't need to learn so much about IT before you start to work in GRC. Unlike other parts of cybersecurity, like IT operation, cybersecurity, maybe network security, even vulnerability management, you will still need some level of understanding of basic of IT. But in GRC, even if you have background in accounting, you have background in economics, you have background even in English language or linguistics, you can still work in this particular domain of IT security. So I will take us through, and then let me know if you have questions. Then I just have this little a slide to take us through what is GRC. So GRC basically is is governance, risk management, and then compliance. Is an holistic approach to managing organization policy, process, and control. Cybersecurity has been in existence for many years, but the expert, if you work in the cybersecurity space, one of the challenges we have is to have what we call the governance, like the management of organization, the CEO, the management, to drive cybersecurity. And there is no process, no initiatives you can drive in any organization if there is no management backup. If you are initiating a project and the management is not giving their go ahead or they are not supporting you, you are going to have a lot of issues trying to push through that project. So, and that's why governance is introduced into cybersecurity. If you have governance, if you have the top management, if we start the cybersecurity operation, if we start it from the boardroom, it will be more effective than when we started from the IT room. And that's why that's what GRC is all about. That's what governance is all about as regard cybersecurity. So why is GRC so important, and why is it important to us? One of the reason why it's important is because it's to ensure compliance and to ensure that we align with operation, like the governance, the risk management, and compliance. Organization, there are compliance within Canada, US, in the States, in Europe, like GDPR, in Africa. There is no country that does not have laws that governs their cybersecurity. So the name might be different, but the goals to achieve is to achieve security of data, whether at rest or in motion or in transit or in process. So one of the things is that GRC helps us to improve our decision making by providing a structured framework for informed decision. And then GRC helps us to have accountability, establish clear roles and responsibility. Risk management will help us to identify our risks and assess and manage our risk and then prevent potential issues. So what are the components of GRC? Like I mentioned earlier, we have governance, which is oversight and strategic direction by management. Management need to be involved in IT security. They need to be involved in cybersecurity. And the best way to bring them in is to allow them to drive it from the boardroom. They have to drive the process of cybersecurity from the boardroom. And that's what, if you find yourself in this domain of cybersecurity, you will be interfacing between the IT guys, IT folks, and also the boardroom folks. And then that's governance has to do with policy, processes, and how do we develop all of this. So also we have risk management. Risk management, we identify risk, we assess the risk, and then we mitigate our risk. Because if we don't have risk management framework in place, there is no way we can identify those things that could be a threat to our organization. And that's why risk management should drive cybersecurity or IT security. We can't just implement controls and say, oh, I can just wake up as an IT guy and tell the IT people that, oh, in this organization, nobody should visit social media site. And the IT guy will just wake up one day and block everybody out of Facebook, out of YouTube, out of Instagram. To be a risk management drives that process, because there are people in that organization, within that enterprise, whose job is to be on social media. So if you block everyone out and kick them out of social media, what happened to the communication guys who need to do their job, market the organization on social media, who need to create content using Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So what you have done is that you have implemented control that block the business process. And that's why risk management is key you don't just implement without assessing the risk to the business before you implement that control. And also there is compliance management. There are laws and regulations organizations have to comply with. Like if you have business in Europe, there is GDPR. If you have business in the North America, in the States, in Canada, there are laws that governs cybersecurity or data protection laws that need to be complied with. If you operate in the card industry, that is PCI DSS, that you need to comply with. If you operate in the health sector, that is HIPAA, that you need to comply with as an institution that operates in that space. What are the common framework that we have? There are a lot of framework around GRC. So these are the common ones that there are a lot of them by ISO, International Standard Organization. Then we have Committee of Sponsoring Organization. We have ISO 37000, which we have to do with the International Organization for Standardization. We have NIST, which is National Institute of Standard and Technology from the US. So and that NIST has created a lot of framework that drive GRC. In terms of governance, what do we do? Governance the management has to strategically make decisions that will drive the cybersecurity of the organization, from the boardroom to the people. Because if there is no management support, the IT folks that are implementing the controls, we're going to have issues. Somebody will tell you that, why are you blocking me out of Facebook? Give me a law that supports that. Why can't I use TikTok on your mobile devices? Then you bring out, as an IT person, you bring out the policy that ban or that restrict the use of TikTok on mobile devices. Then there is governance. We bring what I call transparent communication between the business, between the users and the IT folks as well. Then risk management. Risk management, we have to identify the risk. We have to assess the risk. We have to mitigate the risk and look at, okay, what do? We identify the risk that are threats. What are those threats this risk is identified based on the space where the business is operating. If you operate in the health sector, your risk will be different from organization that operate in the sport industry. So also compliance issue, we have to look at legal and regulation. What are those laws that my business need to comply with? If you are into card payment system, you need to comply with PCI DSS. If you are in the health industry, you have to comply with HIPAA, which is mandatory. And then if you are an organization that into maybe consultancy or management system, you have SOC. So if you collect data, SOC 2 is what you must comply with. If you collect data from people, you have to do everything, because based on the law across the globe, you are responsible for the data that you collect. So whether the data is on rest, in transit, or in process. So there is something we call CIA trials. So you have to protect the data that you collect. You have to ensure the integrity of the data. You have to ensure the availability of the data, and you have to ensure that you are accountable to the data that you collect. And that's what compliance is all about. Then we had the benefit of implementing this GRC in an organization. We have it enhances operational efficiency, it reduces legal and financial risk. If you implement these controls, if you manage your risk well, there is definitely going to improve stakeholder confidence in your business, because nobody wants to transact business with organizations that have consistent data breaches or hacker hack into their server or compromise data. Everybody wants to ensure that if you have a bank which constantly has issue with data breaches, you will definitely one day pull out your finance from there because you know that anything can happen and their system is not safe. So it's better adaptation to changes. Now, for those who might be interested in career in GRC, there are a lot of opportunity out there. Organizations are always looking for people to support their business in terms of governance, risk, and compliance. And these are careers that you can build in GRC. One of them is Chief Risk Officer. In some country now, this title is a mandatory one. You should have a position, just like the way you have Chief Information Officer, Chief Financial Officer, Chief Operating Officer. Every company they are mandated to ensure that they have a chief risk officer. Then we have cyber risk manager, we have compliance officer, we have IT security analyst, internal auditor, we have legal and compliance manager, risk analyst, data and privacy officer, business continuity manager, governance and corporate governance analyst. These are some of the, these are not just the list here is not the I've not exhausted the complete list of various careers, but these are just some of them that are common out there. You can choose any of these. If you see any of these titles, either on LinkedIn or Indeed, they are actually looking for someone to manage their GRC system for them. Then there are a lot of certifications out there that you can just maybe look into and get certified. It will help you to boost your knowledge and also to get attracted to some of these employers who are looking for folks to support them in their GRC. There is Cisco has a free what they call skill for work or something. It's 100% free, and it's Cisco Cyber Threat Management. And the certificate is well recognized. You have credit. You can share it on your LinkedIn. And everything is free. The exam, the training, and the modules are very great. I've gone through it, and they are very great. It covers a lot of all the aspects of GRC. Then there is a organization in Canada here who has trainer all over the world, like they are called PCB, and then they are also certified by ISO to provide training in the area of GRC, like lead information security implementer, lead information security auditor. That is ISO 27001. Then we have ISO 27032, which is lead cyber security manager. Then they have a lot of ISO certification like lead security manager and a lot of them. You can check them out. PCB is a very popular organization. Then we have the one from ISACA. ISACA has been like, that been one of the organizations that pioneer GRC around the world. And then they have like, they have a certification like CISM. They have CISA, that is CISM means Certified Information Security Manager. They have Certified Information Security Auditor, which is CISA. They have Certified in Risk and Information Security Control, which is also a good one. The only thing with all of these certifications, they are very expensive, right? So you have to have something, money, especially before you go into them. Then there is IS Square. IS Square also has CISSP. Kenny, you have question?
Yeah. Just have just so that this is gonna be, I guess, from the perspective of the students here. So now, what are they like after this training? Okay, so this training actually would be holding in the next 2 weeks. Okay, after this training, what is it that they would be able to take on?
Hey, come again. I didn't get the last part of the.
Are they going to be able to? What kind of certifications are they going to be able to take after this training?
Okay. Thank you. After the training,
Yes.
they can take any of this training like CGRC,
Mhm.
CISSP, but the training course will not cover any of these certifications
Right.
because these certifications are very expensive.
Okay.
Like CISM, they can take up CISM, they can take CISA, they can take the Certified Risk and Information Security Control.
Okay.
After the training, they can take any of this
They are
training.
capable to take any
Yeah,
of
they
them.
can take any of them. The,
Gotcha.
the, the only one that because like PECB training, PECB training, the training they have their own training which is mandatory. So unlike you can wake up today and go and take CISM. You can wake up today and go and take CISA. Once you are able to pay the exam fees,
Mhm.
you can wake up today and go and take PMI Risk Management Professional, that is PMI RMP. You can wake up today and go and take CISSP. You can wake up and go and take C Certified GRC from ISQL. So those ones, they don't require you, they don't mandate you, it's not compulsory that you take their own training.
I see.
But for PECB, if you want to take any of these PECB's training or certification rather, they have like 5 days training. But now what they've done is that they've introduced like online self-training. Before, because I did a certification with them, I'm also a certified trainer with PECB. So in their own training modules, you can't just walk into the training hall or pay for the exam and go. They don't even have, you have to take the training. Is mandatory. You take the training first before you can be allowed to take the exam. But for the rest of other certifications, they can, when if they have the money, they can pay for the fall after the training and go and write the exam. And if they want to take any of this one, any of this training, we'll be here to also support them with questions and exam prep to
Mhm.
prep them for the certifications, whichever one they want to take.
Right. Thank you so much for that.
No worry. I think that's the last slide actually.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
So any question?
Charles, Chidima, Victoria, please, guys, do you have any questions regarding? So this training basically would take 3 days. Let me just make that straight here. It takes 3 days. It's going to be no 9 to 3, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and it's going to run for 3 sessions. So to be on Saturday, on Sunday, and also the next Saturday. So we hope that this class would start in the next 2 weeks. All right. I just want to make sure I get the date right here. Um, so on the 16th, I believe. On the no, sorry, on the 17th. Yeah, 17th. So that's not correct. On the 24th, sorry. On the 24th, the 25th, and also on the 2nd. That's when that's duration of this training. So and again, it's gonna take about 6 to 7 hours per day. And it's gonna go for 3 days. Now people ask us, is it going to be enough? Yes, it's gonna be enough for you to be strong and to be able to, get into the market and get something done. If I may just ask, you guys one after the other, what's your background like, and why do you think cybersecurity would be something that you want to take? Charles, if I may start with you, what's your background like, and why do you think you want to take on this course?
Okay. Thank you for the question, Kenny.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Gabriel, for the expose.
Mhm.
Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
My background is engineering, IT, and broadcast systems. My first degree is in electrical electronics. So one can say over the last 10 to 15 years, I've been in the IT space, but my industry has been in the broadcast media. Um, I've done my PMP. I think I'm about 4 years old in the PMP certification, but before then, I've been doing project management. For me, I've decided to transition to cybersecurity, and the hope is that over, over the next 10 years, so between 2024 and 2034, I would have built a solid career in cybersecurity enough to retire and do my own thing when I clock 50.
Mm.
So right now, this is my transitioning period. And having heard Mr. Gabriel speak, thank you once again, Mr. Gabriel. Sometimes this kind of conversations, it just helps you to see better. So for me, I structured my path this way. I'm pursuing ITIL at the moment as a foundational entry. It doesn't have anything to do with cybersecurity per se, but service management is also part of what you do as a security analyst. So for me, that is one of the first quarter of this year. I plan to have executed that, and then I took a course in CISSP course with a college. It was virtual, and the truth is, I wouldn't consider it a waste of money, but there's some things that a physical class is just it. There's nothing beats a physical class. I don't know how to put it, but it's just the way it is. You can read all the books you want, watch videos, but there's something about being able to engage face to face, even if it's virtually, but talking to someone directly to have to ask questions, to pause and all of that. So I took that class, but my schedule was such that every time it was time for my class, I was in the bus on my way home. So I just took the class since I paid for it. But I could say deeply, honestly, that the depth of knowledge that I gathered was, say, maybe 10 to 15%. But it was a good introduction. And for me, the fact that I committed to it was also good for me to help me, to show that I'm really serious about this. So for me, the agenda for the year is knock out ITIL. And then I figured instead of jumping right into CISSP, I could do a security plus. It's still an introduction to cybersecurity for me, foundational. And I knocked that out. And by the end of the year, I can then knock out CISSP.
Mm.
I've heard of GRC and hearing Mr. Gabriel speak, I see that they're all interconnected one way or the other. So if I build a foundation, if I get to CISSP, I can then decide to major maybe in GRC and go down that rabbit hole eventually, since the general consensus that CISSP is 1 mile wide and 1 inch deep.
Mm.
So for me, I would probably then narrow down into GRC. But like hearing Mr. Gabriel talk about his experience, that he's touched literally every aspect in his career, that is something enviable. And I would like to be able to say that after 10 years.
Perfect. Perfect. No,
Thank you.
no, thank you so much, Charles. I mean, somebody got to introduce Mr. Gabriel to me, and as I met him, I thought it was a joke, seriously. But having met with him, having worked with him, he's a sound guy. He's very, very sound. I can tell you that for sure. So I think you're gonna be in good hands if you eventually sign up with him. Victoria, do you the same thing to you? What's your background like? Why are you here? Why do you think this is going to be something you want to consider?
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adeshola and Mr. Gabriel. So I have my educational background is in Bachelor of Science, and currently I'm working with the government as a collection officer. But like I'm looking to change my career path. Like I'm looking into cybersecurity because like they have like a lot of opportunities where I work, and I'm looking to just, just kind of change my career path into cybersecurity. Like I have no idea about cybersecurity, so I'm looking to take the certification
Mhm.
and to see if it's something that I would really do.
Right. Victoria, Charles, are you guys both part of the group, of the WhatsApp group?
I am part of the WhatsApp group.
Okay, what about Charles? Are you?
Yeah, yes, I am. I'm on the general WhatsApp group. That's where I saw the link for the meeting today.
Perfect. Okay, great, great. So Chidima, let me come to you. Again, same question to you. What is your background? What do you do right now? Before you do that, I have a comment on what Victoria just mentioned. There's one of the ladies I've trained in product owner and product management. She works for TD Bank, right? And she said she want to transition into the PO role that they have open in their company. All right. And she just called me. No, I called her on Saturday, this yesterday. She told me she's been scheduled for an interview. It's quite easy when you have an internal organization, internal role in your organization to quickly, pot into that role that is open. The reason is that it's easy for them they know you, they know your work ethic. They don't have to go ahead and scout for somebody. They don't know the flaws of this person. They know your flaws. They know what you can perform and all of that, right? It's easy for them to quickly transition you into that role. Just to encourage what you just mentioned, Victoria, right? Chidima, please, can you hear us? Chidima, can you hear us? Probably you speaking on mute. Oh yeah, probably she's not available. So anyway, we're going to pull up the class on the website,
Yeah,
probably, right?
yeah. Let me just. I
Yes,
just
please.
want to make
I'm
some
sorry.
comments. Yeah,
Absolutely.
no worries.
Yes.
Yeah. So I haven't heard from Charles and Victoria. That's great backgrounds from both of them. Charles, your IT is highly relevant in cybersecurity. Please, I have IT foundation as well, and I've done a lot of training. IT, apart from being IT is meant for IT service management. There are framework that we use in cybersecurity, and one of them is IT framework. The framework has to do with, IT is a circle. It talks about circles of services. So, and that is one of the things that we use. So your knowledge of IT will be so useful when you come to the cybersecurity space. Another framework that is highly recommend, apart from the NIST framework that I mentioned, is COBIT. COBIT is from Isaka, and is also very useful. So your IT knowledge will be so relevant, and it's good that you have some back knowledge, even though it's 10%, as you said, on CISSP. So now some of the things we are going to be talking about, for example, or they will be talking about in cybersecurity, will not be straight to you. You already have some knowledge from the CISSP class. Then if you want to take a CompTIA Security Plus, CompTIA, I have security plus as well. That's 501. So after my 501, they introduce 601, and the latest one they introduced now, which is the one they launched in November last year, also include GRC, because they are trying to expand it. So they have 701. So I think the 601 will be retired by July this year, and that is for those who have already bought the voucher before the introduction of 701. So that means if you are taking anyone now, you will definitely going to take 701, which is very good. They introduced a GRC into it. They expanded vulnerability management in it, which is very good, because CompTIA has been known over time for IT operation. So, and that's why they expanded it, included GRC into that. So you are on a good path. And then if you are able to now finally take other advanced one like ISO certification, CISSP, CISM, CISA. Then by the time you retire, you just be a security consultant, which is in a high demand everywhere. And for Victoria, like Kenny mentioned, being in an organization where they already have openings, opportunity for cybersecurity, transitioning to that will be very, very seamless and easy for you, because the risk of taking someone from outside and the risk of employing you is very, very low. So that's another risk management. So
Exactly.
the risk of them
That's
taking
another
you,
cybersecurity issue right there.
yeah. So because if you work for governments, if it's federal government, for example, they have clearance. So you already have clearance for 5 years, and your clearance will be, if it's going to be renewed. So there are so many factors that we consider that make the risk of giving you that opportunity than giving an outsider very, very, very classified as low. And they know your work culture, the way you work. So even your boss can recommend you and say, oh, I know Victoria has worked with me and she will do well in cyberspace as well. So good ones. And then please don't give up your dream. Cybersecurity is going to be with us until forever.
The end of
So
time.
it's an industry that is keep expanding, increasing every day, because everybody is moving into data and everybody is moving to the cyberspace. Even when, if anything happen and they open up the mass for people to move into, as some people are planning, there will still be cyber issue there. So you are forever relevant. Thank you.
That's great. That's great. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Mr. Gabriel. Chidinma, can you hear us now?
I guess maybe she's
Okay.
not in the place where she
That's
can
fine.
talk.
Yeah, perhaps. Okay. So, I mean, I would not want to keep you guys for too long. There's no point to keep you guys for too long. Like I mentioned, the class would probably be holding by the 24th. We are going to see that on the web page in the coming day, maybe today or tomorrow. We're gonna host that up there. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Then we can take it up from there. Thank you very much, guys, and have a very fantastic rest of your day. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Bye.
So much. Bye.